When director William Wellman came to Kane County to shoot Buffalo Bill, he was so impressed by the people of Kanab and their readiness to appear as stuntmen and extras in his film that he called Kanab a little Hollywood all its own, and the name is stuck. Kane County has been a busy motion picture production area since the 1920s. Several factors initially brought the area to Hollywood's attention. In the early part of the last century, cowboy movies enjoyed tremendous popularity. During this period, the studios were constantly searching for interesting settings to use in their movies. Hundreds of productions have been shot here, and many TV shows too, like Gunsmoke, The Lone Ranger, and Have Gun Will Travel. Several of Hollywood's greatest stars have worked in this region as well, including Alan Ladd, Rory Calhoun, John Wayne, and Clint Eastwood, who came here to Kane County in 1975 to make The Outlaw Josie Wales. The region's natural beauty has always been its biggest draw.
Filmmakers have an insatiable appetite for new visual stimulus. So they had run out of that in Hollywood, so they start moving east. And they are looking for more and more and more. And they come upon southern Utah, which is a huge backlot, crammed into a very small area.
About this same time, in the early 1920s, Chauncey Perry from Cedar City, who with his brothers had the transportation concession in the national parks at Zion National Park, were taking a greater interest in publicizing this wonderful area.
Chance became a real champion for filming in southern Utah. In fact, he took his own personal biplane, which he had purchased, and flew around the area, taking photographs with the best camera that money could buy.
And he got all these aerial shots, and he put it together in a brochure and took it to Hollywood and took it to the producers and the studios. And what they did is he marketed this place, and he could give them entertainment, food, wranglers, whatever they needed.
Well, apparently he sold the idea to Fox Film Corporation and its biggest Western star, Tom Mix. That brought them to the base of operations in Cedar City to film Deadwood Coach. And after Deadwood Coach in 1924, other motion picture companies, admittedly independent film companies, came.
The Perrys bought an old farmhouse in downtown Kanab, which they converted into a residential inn. The Perrys Lodge was operated by Chauncey's brother, Whit.
They make that into a tourist lodge, and it soon becomes the headquarters for motion picture companies coming to film in the area. So the establishment of the Perry Lodge in 1931, I think, is something like a magnet, which helps congregate film companies around the lodge, the excellent food provided by Whit Perry, which is legend among film crews in Hollywood at the time. So you see more films being shot in the area. Again, still in the 1930s, these are B film companies that come to make movies, such as Lure of the Wasteland, The Fargo Kid, Roll Wagons Roll with Tex Ritter. Then you get Columbia making 2 chapter plays or serials, Overland with Kit Carson and The Great Adventures of Wild Bill Hickok. However, there is one very big studio film that comes in to Zion National Park and in Johnson Canyon in 1936 with top-tiered stars like Wallace Beery and Dennis O'Keefe. And that's Bad Man of Brimstone, and that's MGM. That must also have been the result of the Perry brothers' wooing of Hollywood companies to come up.
And once MGM came, then all of the other major studios began to recognize Kanab as an area to come and film. And it seems like it began to really take off nicely after that.
Locals were often hired as extras and stuntmen.
One day they stripped us down and painted us up like Indians and put war paint on us and all that, and we rode bareback across in front of a fort up in Strawberry Valley. $18 a day, and that was pretty good money back then. That's, you know, so you You took your days off from work and made a few bucks. Helped feed the kids. It kept the kids from eating the putty out of the windows.
In 1939, Paramount Pictures sent its biggest director, Cecil B. DeMille, to Kane County to shoot Union Pacific. Starring Barbara Stanwyck and Joel McCrea, the movie also featured several locals, including Chauncey Perry's wife, Helen.
20th Century Fox comes back to Utah to do a big, splashy Technicolor version of the stringing of the Western Union telegraph lines, starring Dean Jagger, Robert Young, Virginia Gilmore, and Randolph Scott, and directed by a highly unlikely director for a Western, Fritz Lang, the German emigre, who was so good at these dark melodramatic tales that were later known as film noir, filming a bright Technicolored sunlit Western in and around Kanab, Utah. I think that was a major event for Kanab in establishing it as a continuously long-running film production center.
In 1943, John Wayne was dispatched by Republic Pictures to Kanab to film in Old Oklahoma, a story about feuding oilmen. In Old Oklahoma also featured Dale Evans. In the picture, the future Queen of the West plays a dance hall girl.
She was signed to a contract with Republic because she was a big band and radio singer and had quite a following. So she got a really good contract with them. And then they didn't quite know what to do with her. So they were looking at what kind of movies they were going to put her in. And being a singer, the first one that they did was the one with John Wayne, and she played a dance hall girl named Cuddles Walker. She always loved that name.
Put your arms around me, honey, hold me tight, huddle up and cuddle up with all your might. Oh, babe, won't you roll those eyes?
In 1943, William Wellman shot Buffalo Bill in Kane County with Maureen O'Hara and Joel McCrea. 8 years later, Wellman returned to Little Hollywood to make Westward the Women. In this exciting picture, Robert Taylor played a wagon master who leads a group of 150 women on a cross-country trek.
Now, for the first time, MGM brings you an unexplored savage wilderness, never before photographed, right in the continental United States.
Much of the film was shot in the Johnson Canyon section of the county, where Wellman had several sets built. These sets would subsequently appear in episodes of Gunsmoke, Daniel Boone, and Have Gun Will Travel.
Have gun will travel, reach the card of a man. A knight without armor in a savage land. His fast gun for hire heeds the calling